This episode, spring home maintenance checklist. Well, folks, it's that time of year again. Time to do the spring maintenance checklist. So we're going to go through these quick. We've got lots of items on the list. And we'll get to it in a minute. Welcome to the Handyman Pros Radio Show. Home improvement and maintenance tips from the pros. Thanks for listening to another edition of the Handyman Pros Radio Show, where our goal is to help save you time, money, and aggravation on your home maintenance and repair. This edition's entitled The Home Maintenance Checklist. And to help me explain, my old checklist buddy, Johnny. Johnny, what's been on your checklist this week?
Check.
Check.
Credit card cash.
Right.
So this was kind of something I've been already putting together. I can't believe. So, we just roll right into it. I've already been out and I've already started to, put together things like I have to do some outdoor stuff, and get all my tools.
Before we get started, before we roll right into this, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channels, please, both on YouTube and or on whichever your podcast player is. We really appreciate it. It helps get the word out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right, Johnny, let's roll in. One of the things that I think needs to be on your home checklist, Johnny, we were just talking about this, is we here in the South, we live outside of Atlanta, Georgia. The pollen season has started our allergies are killing us. Both of us.
I don't hardly ever have allergies. They don't affect me. The pollen never really affects me. But one thing I do notice though, over the last 20 years or 30 years, one of the things I notice is that it's like every third year, or maybe something like somewhere it's like a rotation, that I get hit with something. It's really weird. It's not every year, but like every third year. This year, it's got me.
Yep. As you can hear, Johnny's been coughing a little bit and kind of chortling a little bit. Yeah, no, I get it every year, right? There's something in the spring, both spring and fall, that just eats me up.
Yeah.
And it makes me tired and it makes me irritable, even more irritable than I am normally, which is interesting. So anyway, all right. Johnny, let's start talking about the checklist. Where do we want to start? Let's start outdoors. You go.
All right. Well, it's kind of, like I said, it's kind of funny because I was just doing this. As I was walking around, the weather's starting to break, here. It's been pretty nice. And I'm already looking at the roof. I'm looking at things like that. Now I've got gutter guards, which, hey, thank you, man. I'm glad it cost me a lot of money up front, but man, I got clean gutters, but I got some valleys that need to be cleaned out.
Yeah, me too. I've got gutter guards same thing. But so check for loose shingles, check for cracked flashing, use binoculars, folks. There's a tip, by the way.
Glad you brought that. That's what I did.
Yeah. Yep. Use binoculars. You want to do it, particularly get up there and clean some stuff off if you can, if your roof isn't too steep before the rains really hit, if it really starts to rain, blah, blah, blah. All right. Yeah. So that gutters too, as well, right? Got to clean the gutters.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Get all the gunk out of there.
Yep.
It's just that simple.
I know if your gutters are way up there, get somebody to do it if you're not capable of doing it. I'm not going to do it anymore. Anybody over 60 on a ladder is nuts.
Is not a good idea.
Yeah. So I'll be happy to hire them.
Safety first.
Yeah.
Safety first.
But get all that off. Get all that out.
Yeah. Same thing with the next one. Trimming trees and shrubs. If it's high, get a professional to do it. Yeah. Cut back your dead branches, get all your gunk, all the stuff, there's all this junk that's on your trees. They continue to grow, the stupid things.
Yeah, and don't cut branches above you.
Or if you do, be aware that they do fall.
Yeah, there's a thing called gravity, and it'll come right down onto you. And if you get knocked off the ladder, you're going to wish that you didn't do what you just did.
Correct. Yep. And I'll tell you one other thing to be aware of too. Be aware of things when you're eating. I don't care where you're cutting your steaks. Be aware of what's actually up in the trees. I've gotten hit by a couple of nests that I sort of wish I hadn't. Not that there was anything in them, because there wasn't, but it was just it was really messy. Like you get all this around here, it's pine straw, but you get all this crap that flows out. So anyway, take a look before you.
And I'll tell you the other thing. If you're cutting your hedges and stuff like that later on.
Ooh,
be careful of the the hornets and stuff. And
hornets and wasps. Yes, that's a
because I ran into that. That's not good.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. All right, check the exterior of your home. Right. Look for what, Johnny?
Oh man, places to caulk up. The first thing is
peeling paint,
and caulk. I mean, I've got, because everything is moving, everything's tearing away a little bit here and there. The caulk is getting old. Redo all that stuff. And guess what? I got to do it. I was just out working on my deck again, and I'm looking at the siding. I'm looking at some of the trim work around the house, and I'm like, oh man, here we go. Here we go.
Stuff has a finite lifespan. We've said it a million times. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. And you got to do the maintenance on it. Prepping the lawn, Johnny. I understand you were doing some of this at your house.
I'm just in that mode right now. Now it's just a little too early to replant the lawn, but I did it last fall. But I got the rake out the other day, and I'm starting to pull out all the leaves and everything that's coming into the gardens and all that kind of stuff. And it's a pain, but
it's just work.
It's just work. You got to do it.
It's just work. That is something that, so folks, if you live in the north, you don't do this in the fall, but we plant here in the fall because we get the wintertime growth. And so in the south, that's what you do. But in the north,
you plant in the fall
spring.
up there. But I'll say this. Is that, I'm going to be out again aerating. I've got an aerator. I'm going to be aerating the lawn. I'm going to be replanting the grass again. I'm trying a new grass, by the way, which I'm really excited about. My neighbor gave me some. I bought some from him. Some real shade mix. That's a professional shade mix. You can't just get anywhere. And so I'm going to see how that goes.
I'm very excited that I am once again enhancing the weed growth in my yard, because the weeds really do a great job, and they're very low maintenance. So
you'll be amazed how fast they grow.
And they grow fast, and they cover well. And I'm like, hey, sometimes literally we've come to the point where we're like, we've tried fighting this. We're not doing it anymore. We're letting nature do its thing, because we kind of live in a forest. Anyway, it's a long story.
Well,
there's a lot of reasons why. I'm at my wit's end with it. So
and that's a good point, because down where we live, just in this little area, the topography and the slope, and the clay, and that is not very well. It's not greatly conducive for and the shade. It's not conducive for good grass growth like there's a lot of other places. So I know people are listening to us all over the place, like wherever, California, Florida, and Illinois, whatever. So you guys got your own issues, but go
to your local cooperative. They'll tell you everything.
Exactly.
Local cooperative or university extension, and they'll tell you everything you need to know about pretty much almost to your neighborhood.
and more.
It's amazing. Really, it's a tremendous resource.
And bring some soil from your house with you.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yeah, and they'll do free testing and all that.
They'll tell you what the pH is and all that kind of stuff.
And
what to do about it.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. So, all right, test your sprinklers. If you've got a sprinkler system, guess what? Water freezing, not good.
Oh boy, you know what? It's kind of in this one. I just saw 2 irrigation companies in our neighborhood digging up and fixing sprinklers already.
I would say this is a test that you need to do about 2 to 3 times a year, because I can't tell you, Johnny, have you ever seen this? We get up early to go to work sometimes, and you drive out and I love, this was one of my favorites.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
You drive down the road, and one of your neighbor's sprinklers is shooting this stream straight up in the air. It's like, where's your head? And it comes on at 5 o'clock in the morning, and they're sleeping. They never see it. They never see it. And you're like,
Yeah, they
maybe you
never
should
see
test
it, or the sprinklers facing the street.
Yeah, or that, right? Yeah, you've
That's a
watered
classic.
you've watered the asphalt in a beautiful way.
Yeah,
So
or my car that I just washed.
or the car.
You
So
know,
yeah, test it maybe maybe do a couple tests a year on that one. All right, then clean your outdoor gear, right? So clean off all your patios and your furniture, your grills. Johnny's on his
just did
deck
it, man.
again.
I just did it last weekend.
Yep.
Cleaned out my whole grill.
Yep. All that stuff. Got to get it ready for the season, man. And the thing is there's a lot of work. There's a lot of work here. So don't try to jam it all into one weekend or whatever. Cause man, when you I always say the grills because Memorial Day comes up faster than you think. And then you're like, oh, I got to clean the grill, blah, blah, blah. If you don't use it all the time, we use ours a lot, but just, there's just a lot of things to do. So do this stuff on a kind of regular basis. All right. Inside on those days when the weather's not so good, what do we got, Johnny? Give me one.
Well, and here's another one I just did. Now I put this on my reminders on my iPhone. Yep. Every 3 months. Hey, HVAC filters.
HVAC filters. Yep. Yep. Sure enough. There's more to it though. This helps preserve your HVAC system. It makes it more efficient. It also makes it less expensive. There's pressure things. We've done shows on it, but got to change your HVAC filters. Very simple. Costs you a little bit of money. Buy good ones. Remember MERV 10, MERV 8 at a minimum, MERV 8 and up and higher. MERV is the rating of the filtration level. So the cheap fiberglass ones are a MERV 1 that basically lets every single thing through. Whatever you want to do, it's up to you, but I should say that I don't. Anyway, I go MERV 8 and out. So 8 plus 8 and really I prefer 10. I don't go higher than 15, but that's beside the point. If you've got allergies and stuff, take a look at HEPA filters.
Well, and I was just going to say, especially come springtime for most of us, and as everything starts to bloom, all you're going to do is blow pollen around in the circle in your house.
A circle in your house is exactly right. Yep. And that's what you do with the dust and the dirt as well.
Yeah.
All right. Inspect your windows. Look for drafts. This is both spring and fall. You need to be looking.
Same thing, man. I did the same. Yep. I just did this too. I just fixed 2 other windows. And that's from
clean your screens. Although if you're here in the South, wait till after pollen season to do that. But clean your screen sometime, just is what it is, right? Test your smoke detectors. Safety,
this is a good time.
This is a safety thing.
We're right around the corner from changing the clocks again. So and by the time this show is the
clocks will have changed. But
so this is a good reminder that hey, change your batteries, test the smoke detectors, and all that kind of stuff. I'll tell you one other one is I'm going to be cleaning windows again.
Yep.
I mean, if it starts to rain again, I'm just going to start on the inside.
Yep. Spring cleaning, as they say, as it were. Declutter your vents. Vacuum out your dust vents, your heating vents and stuff. You got to do it. You got AC season coming up, so remember that's coming too. It's going to save. All this stuff matters. It's all just little stuff.
What I just did too is the lint from the dryer vents.
Do the dryer vents.
I just did that. I just did that.
7th reason for fires in America, right? For house fires.
I got a new dryer not too long ago, and you think, man, these things got to be, pretty good at filtering out the lint by now.
They are not.
It's amazing, boy, there was a lot that came out of there.
Yeah.
In just a year or two of using it. Anyways.
Easy to do. Check your plumbing, folks. Especially your outside faucets. Run your outside faucets. Run your inside faucets. Take a look up under your sinks. Make sure all your fittings are tight. We don't want any drips underneath the sinks. From your drains. And
refrigerator.
It loosens up. Refrigerator. It loosens up because of vibrations in the house that are normal and natural. So it's not like, oh, this thing's broken. It's not that. Just tighten it, hand tighten it usually, and just check it. Just do that. And then, do a deep cleaning as well while you're at it. Spring cleaning, right? As they say, all that stuff on days that it's raining. And, just again, there's lots of little tasks. Got to get after them, right?
Yeah.
Got to get after them.
Yeah.
What do we got for safety besides the smoke detectors, Johnny?
The safety You know, well,
service and safety.
Yeah, well, one of the things I just did, you know, you just brought up a good point of the vibration in the house. I'll just say it again, is that, you know, if you don't believe how much your house vibrates, you know, if you have like a laser level or whatever, and you just put it out on the floor and you walk around and you'll see that thing bouncing up and down,
all over the place. It's amazing how much it moves. Amazing. You think it's not moving.
You think it's not moving, but man, after you see that, you think your house is like a trampoline. And I'll say that affects, you know, your so from a safety, my AC outlets. I just tightened up 1, 2, 3 of them.
Oh, electrical outlets, yeah.
Yeah, the electrical outlets.
Yep, sure enough. Yeah, sure. You gotta do that every once in a while. You know, if you put a plug in and the thing moves, it's time to tighten it up. Period.
Yeah.
End of story. Right. And then that's the other thing. If you, especially those outlets that you use a lot, that insert and the pulling out, that loosens up the outlet in general. It takes a while, but it still happens. So check that stuff. When it comes to service, it's time to maybe, you know, get ready to service your AC, just depending on what part of the country you're in. You know, have your service done by professionals. Take a look. It beats the breakdown, you know, the last thing. Chimneys, do a quick look for creosote. We usually do that in the fall as well, but take a look. Sump pumps. This is, if you live in sump pump country and you need a sump pump, dude.
Yeah,
now's the time.
Yeah, dude. Do yourself a huge favor.
Huge favor, right? Yeah. Make sure that sump pump works. Make sure you got a battery backup on your sump pump. So, because floods are not fun, right? Water is the most damaging thing.
I got that on video.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
In the Chicago house.
Yeah. Check your garage doors, right? Lube up your garage doors. That is the largest moving part in most people's homes. Is the garage door. So check the springs, check the lube. You know, make sure you just spray some lube on it, get everything good and going. And
we'll put this. That's the way it is. We'll put this, folks. You don't have to remember what we're talking about. We'll put this whole thing. I'll make sure I include this in our description of the show.
Johnny, I thought we were giving away $1,000 if everybody could do this from memory. I'm kidding. That's a joke. That is a joke.
Well, $1,000 of Larry's money, which you wouldn't even miss. What's the next one?
Oh, please, Johnny. Jeez, don't get me started. I'm broke. Anyway, be that as it may, gardens and projects. It's time for gardens and projects. Now we've got a show coming up that we're going to do called "Kicking Off Your Home Projects," and so that's a big projects thing. These aren't the maintenance items; these are more of the projects that you're looking at next year. That's coming up in an additional show. It's probably be next week that one will actually launch. But there's just some things, you know, if you've got a garden, you know, you need to get. It's time to start getting your seedlings done if you do that kind of stuff. You know,
that is true.
Time to start organizing what you got for your stuff to do. Plan your repairs out. You know, Johnny, do you have any deck boards that you need to do?
Are you going to go down that hole? Dude, I just replaced another 10. I just told you, you know, I got about 160 of them out there, and I'm within, you know, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel on this. It's been crazy. And we've talked about it for weeks,
every week for a year and a half or more.
Hey, you know what? I can change these deck boards now, man, so fast. It's still a pain in the ass because I got to bring out all the tools to do it, but I can do it real fast, you know. So, you know, you do something over and over again, you get pretty good at it. But I'm sorry to say that I'm good at it. So.
But yeah, well, you know, take a look at your deck boards, take a look at your fence posts, take a look at whatever, you know, all that stuff that's outside, right?
Absolutely.
Blah, blah, blah.
This is a good point right here. You just brought it up, the fence posts.
Yep.
Take a look at this is a good time to get on that, man, while the weather is not really scorching hot. And if you can figure out, you know, if your fence is, you know, falling apart, or there's some places to repair, or that the gate's wobbly, or the gate posts need to be resecured in cement or whatever, it's time to get on that one.
Spring is the time to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't wait till the summer. Here where we live, folks, we have clay, and brother, if you're doing any digging, you need to do it in when it's wet, which is usually in the spring,
Yeah.
because you won't. It's like flipping.
Yeah, you'll never
concrete.
get it. Yeah, you'll never get into it.
So anyway, blah blah blah. It's just spring is a good time. And to Johnny's point, I was on the fencing team when I was in high school, and midsummer fencing is not the definition of fun. It's called the definition.
I get. Yeah. He was an Olympic
Hey, we could
fencer.
lay 400 yards a day, Johnny. We were good.
He was an Olympic fencer.
Highland
guard.
fencing outside of Rochester, New York. You better believe it, baby. Yeah, I was on the fencing team. Anyway, compost too. If you're going to do compost, now's the time. We do compost. We actually, it's amazing, Johnny. You want to create great soil? Do a compost bin. Holy smokes, man! That stuff is just like whoa,
Yeah.
good, like whoa, good, like unbelievable. Anyway, be that as it may. All right. Other things, maybe time to do an energy audit, right, Johnny?
Yeah. And I think that goes along with everything that we talked about here is, from HVAC and heating to,
Yep.
keeping the cold air out in the windows secured, and door seals, and I keep harping on that one, but man,
Yep.
it's always something. That's the thing, right? It's always something. I guess
Again,
it's life.
We're trying to help you save time, money, and aggravation, but money in that case, right? That stuff all saves you money. It's small expense for big return. So, and then the last thing is the budget check, Johnny. If you got some projects coming up, hey, it's time to start putting some numbers down. Don't get into these projects and go, geez, I didn't think it was going to cost that much. Well, you should be able to have somewhat of a bit of an anticipation of what it's going to cost. Folks, in case you don't know it, we do have another show coming up called How to Deal with Rising Materials Costs, because prices have been going up on pretty much everything.
Well,
so just
yeah,
you
and
aware,
they're
right?
going to go up even more before they come down.
Well, there's been a couple of extraneous circumstances that are really going to hurt building materials. One of them are the California fires. We discussed that, I think, in a previous show, but there's going to be a whole lot of diversion of materials into places that basically burn the whole thing down. Like when a whole neighborhood burns down, guess what? Money's going to get, or product mostly is going to get diverted, and labor will too. So it's going to be an issue coming up at some point. We're going to see some more increases based on demand, and because they're going to be in huge demand in California. I hate to say it. And right now there's some fires burning in South Carolina. I don't know if it's in any populated areas, but I know there's some big fires going on there too. So anyway,
we've got tariffs on Canada's lumber too. That's coming up.
Yeah.
So that's going to raise some prices, blah, blah, blah.
Stuff's happening. All right, Johnny.
That's it. Larry, did the aliens get a chance to clean your gutters? I know that was probably on their checklist,
alone, Johnny. We're not going there.
Yeah,
it's
I think
a
that
family
was
show,
on their
Johnny. We can't do it.
We need to pay Larry a spring home cleaning.
Hey, check the tubes. Anyway, with that, please like and subscribe our podcast on YouTube. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, it's questions@handymanprosradioshow.com. We do answer our emails, and we want your ideas, so let us know. Questions at Handyman Pros Radio Show. Johnny, take us home, baby.
All right, folks. Hey, have a safe and a fun week, productive week. We will see you next time on the Handyman Pros Radio Show.